So when, just on a friendship level, when going back to the beginning of the band, when you saw that Zeppelin first started to take off, what was your reaction? Like, I'm assuming you were happy for the band. Like, how did you react when you saw them just kind of taking off?
Oh, I loved it. I remember taking a cassette Jimmy had sent me of the first album to my friend John Scott, who was the big DJ on WMC FM in Memphis, and just playing it for him. And he was, holy hell, this is going to be something. I mean, all you had to do was put on the very first, let the needle drop on that record or start the cassette and hear the beginning of Good Times, Bad Times.
Mm.
And it was just, what is this? It was an anthem. It spoke volumes immediately to everybody that loved rock and roll music. Wow, this is different. This is exciting. This is powerful. And then song after song, the good Lord, it was amazing. So I was over the moon that my friend had come up with this. It was just stunning.
That is so cool. So, seeing him over the course of Zeppelin was what, from 68 to 1980? So, yeah, for about 12 years. How did he, in your view, grow and develop as an artist over the course of the time with Zeppelin?
This will sound a bit crazy, but to be honest, in my mind, he was already at the very top from day one.
Hmm.
Sure, everybody grows and changes a little bit, but what I mean is, in general, the musical power that was in his brain was there from the very instant. It was there in the Yardbirds. He just hadn't been able to form it together yet,
Mm-hmm.
but and had the rightest people all in one room. But I think all that really happened over the time was that more and more of other people's things came out at the same time as more and more of Jimmy's amazing mental prowess infected everybody else.
Hmm.
It was like this two things coming together. And of course, John Paul Jones was brilliant from the beginning too. Everyone was brilliant on day one, but Jimmy was already there. So I just saw a mixture and a melding and a grouping of things in the band. These things are hard to define.
Yeah, but I think that
I'm
makes sense.
struggling.
I just thought of a random question. I mean, when it comes to Zeppelin, a lot of people consider Peter Grant like the fifth member of the band, so to speak, right? What was Peter Grant like? Like was he a very aggressive person from what I understand? Like how was he to be around?
Around me and the band and whatever, he was a total sweetheart.
Hmm.
He was like a great big teddy bear. He had been an ex professional wrestler,
Yeah.
big guy, very strong, very he could intimidate you if he wanted to, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But no, just working day to day, he was a lovely man. I really, really liked him. He was so devoted to the band. I mean, he really saw them not as his kids because they were too old for that, but really as a family. And he took care of them like I've never seen a manager take care of a band. He really, really loved them deeply. And of course, they were being so successful.
Mm-hmm.
You love that too, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
But I have seen him I went to many concerts over the years, probably close to 50 or maybe even more than 50 Zeppelin shows live. And when he needed to be, like he, on one show, he saw what he thought were microphones out in the aisles of one of the show. I think this may have been Baltimore. There were a tripod set up and something that looked like microphones out there. And he was furious. Somebody was recording Zeppelin from the show. So he charged out into there, grabbed the equipment, picked it up, threw it against the wall, smashed it all up. It turned out it was some scientists doing tests of levels during sound check to see how loud a band was or something.
Yeah.
But he could literally pick people up and throw them around. And I've seen him do things like that because he was taking care of the band. But so, yeah, he was two sides of him, very tough and aggressive when he had to be, but just a total sweetheart when you were there in private.
Do you remember first meeting him?
First meeting him. Wow. Oh, gosh. I don't remember if it was at a show, if there was a show first, because he was not at the Yardbird shows that I'm talking about before, even though he did manage them at one point, I believe. But he wasn't at those shows. But so it either would have been at the first pickup at the airport when they came for the very first between shows recording and mixing thing. Or I might have gone to a show before that and met him. I honestly don't remember though, but I'm like, he was much taller than that. I'm like 140 pounds. He's like 280 pounds or something. Big man. So if he wanted to just use that girth and bulk and intimidate somebody, he could certainly do it. But lovely man to me from the very first. Hearty handshake and a big hug, and off we went.